Welcome back to the channel. Today is another vlog in the fish room. It's actually a maintenance day, and I decided before I go through and clean all my aquariums, I wanted to show you guys a raw, uncut look and how the tanks look when they're not super pristine, because I'm sure a lot of you people can relate to that with your own aquariums. I have a working running fish room, and I have probably 40 something tanks down here, so nothing is never perfect, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. So we got some tanks down here with some water evaporation. You might see some algae in a few tanks, and that's the whole part of keeping aquariums. It's never perfect, and don't think that your tank has to be perfect. That's why you got to get your hands in your tank, you got to clean them, you got to do your maintenance. So we're gonna go through and look at some things. I had a few things changed down here in the fish room. I think I picked up some fish that you guys haven't seen back there in that aquarium, but we did have some like tragedy happen down here in the fish room the other day. That's why I haven't uploaded. So let's just start talking about that. So now you can see over here in this 120-gallon aquarium, we got full of Africans over here. So this what happened. My 72-gallon boat front, I came home the other day and the thing was just drained to nothing. It was at least like a half an inch of water in here, and all these fish was in there pretty much halfway dead. So I had to jump into attack mode, start pumping water out of my 1,000-gallon pond into this 120-gallon aquarium, get the fish in, get the skate back on, and we luckily saved every fish except one little baby Rusty. So it was crazy. I came home with just water everywhere. The fish was just flopping. It was just, I went into a straight panic mode and started getting together. So I didn't have time to record the process and do everything I had to do was right for the fish first. So now they are all in this 120-gallon aquarium, and they're looking phenomenal here. I'm not even gonna lie. It's probably like the best thing that could have happened for them, because now they got way more space to swim. The 72-gallon boat front is pretty much done. That's the second time that tank has leaked on me, so I think I'm going to scrap that tank. I'm not going to reseal it again. I think it's just over and done with. So that's what's going on. Now we got a beautiful 120-gallon African cichlid tank, and as you can see, it's a little bit of a glare on this tank, but you can see all the beautiful Africans that are in here. Still got our same rock work. Now I need to get more rock work for this tank because it's so big and so deep, but it's beautiful. And now these fish get more room, because I see a lot of people like, oh, they need more room, it's overstocked. So boom, you see how God worked in mysterious ways. So now these fish got a 120-gallon aquarium, but that kind of sucks because I had a different plan for this tank. I want to do a different like biotope with it, but it is what it is. I'm loving it and it's looking good. So that's what's going on there. Now everything else down here in the fish room is doing pretty good for the most part. I was going to add these Africans over into the African cichlid tank, but that was supposed to be a video for you guys, and then the tank broke down and I had to do what I had to do. So this is still going to happen very soon, but these guys are doing good. And my homie brought over this zebra oblique male that was getting beat up in his aquarium, so we got him over here. We're gonna get him back strong, and then all these guys are gonna go to the African cichlid tank. So that's what's going on there. We still got our gold dust mollies down here looking phenomenal. Look at how this hornwort is just like growing crazy in here right now. I really thought about taking these guys out of here and moving them to like a community setting. I'm not really too like excited about them. They are cool fish. I'm not really too worried about breeding, so I might just move them to like a community tank and let them just color up some other tanks. Still got our exodons and our silver dollars in here looking phenomenal. Definitely got a plan for the silver dollars in the future, because I know they're going to get a lot bigger than that and they need more room to swim. But for right now, the tank is looking phenomenal. Oh, you guys remember we did this tank in the last video with all our South Americans. So you can see it, pretty much everybody is out swimming around. We got our electric blue cars, our gold severums, our green severums, a little tiger Oscar up there, a chocolate, our flag festum. Ooh, he's looking good. He is looking beautiful. And we still got our small raw root. They kind of hanging up at the top right there, and a little leaf fish. So this tank is doing good. As you can see, all the fish are out swimming. Everybody's hungry right now, but they're gonna have to wait until I get done with the water changes to eat. We still got our pretty much our holding tank for our red hump geo. This male is really, let me see if I get a shot. That male is really, ooh, we didn't scare him. He is really showing some amazing colors. So haven't really decided where I'm gonna put these guys, because since the 120 gallon is now occupied, I got a whole new plan I got to figure out. But I've been thinking about turning this into another black water tank. I got inspired, so I think that's what I'm going to do with this. Now here, still got our multis. You can see them actually in here moving the little substrate around. They've been doing fine. I haven't seen any new breeding, but I definitely have been seeing them kind of like creating their own little territories and, fighting off. They be in here banging too sometimes. You see it's a nice little pair back there. But they definitely are moving the substrate. I have been thinking about adding some sand. I have a couple bags of white sand, so I might just go ahead and put the sand in here because it is pretty cool to see these guys move the substrate around and kind of create their own habitats. Definitely a dope little fish, and they are doing great. I see a little baby back there. See him? Yeah, little baby back there, getting nice and big. Ooh, these guys, I'll let them catch them before they swim away. Water level is low. We got our rock dwellers over here looking good. Like I said, none of these tanks have been cleaned, no glass wiped off. But you can see the tanks are still looking amazing though. These guys are doing good down here. Haven't seen much activity. I'll be seeing them moving the substrate around a little bit and trying to create like territories. But for the most part, no breeding. But definitely some dope, beautiful little fish. Got our gold mollies down here looking good. See all the fry. I need to take some hornwood out of that other tank and move some over here. But these guys are doing phenomenal. Got our little grass guppies down here and our blue shrimp. Tons of little fry down here. Can't go wrong with some guppies. That's what started my whole fish keeping like hobby, was like keeping guppies and convict cichlids. And that's how I got into the whole fish keeping thing. So this tank right here is looking good. These filamental barbs though, I know they get fairly big. I know they take a little bit to grow, but these guys get fairly big. So I want to do a dope little tank with them. And I think the rest of the fish that are in here are probably going to go to like a community setting. And I want to do another like nice planted tank, similar to like something like this or that tank down there. I want to have like a nice planted tank here. So right now we just letting fish live out their lives and swim and do what they do. And it's not a perfect tank. The glass needs to be wiped off. We got some algae in here, some detritus. That's what happens when you have 40 plus aquariums down here and you got to maintain them. That's why I run a lot of plants in my tank. So you can see in this tank, for example, there's a lot of plants in here. So you don't really see a lot of algae. You don't really see a lot of mold, detritus, because the plants are like sucking all that up. They're using that as nutrients and they're just growing. I just got these little plants too, these little crypts. Just got them in the pot chilling. You can see the aquarium lilies just growing good. But this tank is just perfect, man. There's barely any filtration. Like literally that's it. That little bubbling is all the filtration that is in this aquarium. Other than the plants, that is it. So if you ever wanted to know how to set up a nice ecosystem, this is how you have to do it. You got to have rock for surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow and colonize. You see we got some little algae on there. I don't ever touch that algae. I kind of like how it looks. It's like real natural. And then you need a nice thick substrate in here to help your ecosystem, then top it off with some plants, and you can literally have this many fish in an aquarium with just some little water bubbling, and you will have no problem. So this tank is looking phenomenal. Now every tank down here I probably won't do a water change on today. Some of the tanks that are like in better condition, I might not do a water change. I probably just go in and like pick out any dead leaves or things like that. But for the most part, everybody's going to get a water change. Now we got the Blue Angel tank. These guys are getting a little bit bigger actually, especially like this one. He done put on a nice size. This one's looking really good. And they hungry right now. Y'all gonna have to wait. Now I've had the lights off in this aquarium for probably like 4, maybe 5 days because it was getting a lot of algae and the plants were just doing horrible. So I turned the lights off for like 4 or 5 days, and you can see it is perfect. This haven't had a water change in 2 weeks, and you can see how crystal clear this aquarium is. And we just got a little bit of evaporation that need to be topped off. So the tank like this, I would probably just top it off because it's in pretty good pristine condition. The plants are doing everything I need them to do. The fish look healthy. So I'll probably skip this tank and just top this tank off and wait till like next week or something. You can see a little bit of the plants are kind of dying back. That's because I had the lights off and they just didn't do so well. We still got our plecos in here. See when our little bristle nose is hanging out right there, looking good. But yeah, all the rest of the plants are fine. These crypts are doing great. Got a little bit of hair algae on this Anubias, but the rest of the Anubias is doing pretty good. This little aquarium lily right here hasn't really like sprouted and took off yet, but you can see we definitely got some leaves, and they looking good. But the fish looking phenomenal. I think I lost maybe just one of these blue angels since I had them in there, and we still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our diamond tetras. So we haven't lost any fish other than one angel. So that is always a good thing when you're setting up any tank. You don't want to lose no fish. Now we got some more tanks I want to show you. But let's talk about the black water tanks. A little bit of glare on this tank. I'm going to be changing all the lighting down here in the fish room to help with the glare. And it's going to look phenomenal. But, you know, it costs to be the boss. So, you know, it takes money to do all the things that I want to do. And we can see our rims in here are looking beautiful, actually. Look at how they're looking on camera right now. Looking amazing, actually. And then we got our plecos. You see, one just squirmed away. If I put some food in here, the plecos will come out. But we still got all our L66, I believe, tiger plecos in here, and they are doing amazing. We still got all our beautiful angels in here that are doing amazing. I took the leaf litter out of here because, like, the almond leaves were, like, decaying too fast for me. And I just didn't like that look. So I'm going to try some different leaves. Maybe you guys can give me some suggestions, some different type of leaves to put in here that don't, you know, deteriorate so fast. I really don't like that. And we got our little black ram getting bigger, looking phenomenal. I'm definitely going to pick up some more of these raspberries, though. My local fish store just got some in, so I'll probably pick up some of those the next couple of days so we can have a nice schooling, or I don't even think they school, they're more of a shoaling fish, nice shoaling school of raspberry swimming in here. So look at the rams, though. They are looking beautiful. Like, I think this is actually a pair. See that female got that little like orange spot on her side, and the male got that nice top fin. Just beautiful rams. And I think there's another pair back here. So eventually, you know, we will separate those guys. Oh, one of the little plecos right there hiding. Looking phenomenal. So yeah, y'all just getting the raw and the real down here right now. This tank, these guys are locking lips. Look, as we speak, this is the real and raw. This is what happens in a fish room. They're locking lips. I barely see that happen with these two, so I need to do something about that because that started night. I never see them do that. That's crazy they're doing it right now. So we need to do something about that. They probably could just be hungry and then getting a little feisty in here. But we got our Jack Dempsey in here looking good. We got our Texas. Well, we got two Texas cichlids in here. I would love to breed those guys, or maybe breed this with like a blood parrot fish and maybe get like the red Texas. I think that's how you get the red Texas. That'd be dope. The homie was talking about that the other day. We still got our pike in here. Our, what's that? Jewel cichlid. And then we got a fire muffin. I got another fire muffin I need to put in here, but I kind of got him down in this tank right now. Just want to make sure that he is doing good. Now, I haven't showed this guy on camera yet, but come on, let's show the people that you're not just dead and not doing good. So this is the Oscar that I put into the 1,000-gallon pond that ended up getting beat up by the red devil. Now you seen his other eye was beat up. They destroyed this fish, and he has been in this tank for probably about close to 2 weeks now. I've been treating him with all type of medicines, trying to get him back healthy, feeding him. His fins were just destroyed, just horrible. But all his fins have been growing back really good. His eye, I think his eye is gone though, but it would look a lot worse than the other, than it did in the beginning. And then this eye as well was pretty bad, but I have since healed that eye up. So I'm gonna give him probably like another month in this tank, get him back strong, and then we'll move him back to the pond. Super salty that happened, but you know, right now I just got him in this tank by itself, a little 40 breeder, and we're just trying to get him back healthy. Sucks. It sucks. Oh, I don't think I even showed you guys these fish yet. So these are some Africans that my home used to feed the fish brought over. And then also them are the albino Taiwan reefs that I picked up maybe a few weeks ago. But the other fish in here are some electric blue fry rod. They are going to be beautiful in a few months once I move these fish to the main African cichlid display. And then we have some scarlets, some Lake Victorians that are going to be amazing as well. Hopefully we get a nice meal out of them. And then everything else in here is just plecos. There's tons of plecos in here, bristlenose plecos, and I'm trying to get these guys to breed, but it's not going to happen with them Africans in here. So I need to move them over to the main display, and then we can focus on breeding our bristlenoses in there. This tank need a serious, serious wipe down. You can see algae and everything growing on in here, but the plants are looking phenomenal. The fish are looking phenomenal. We just got algae on the glass, and that's because I leave this light on a lot on this tank because I'm trying to really get these plants to grow and take off. So the light stays on a lot in this aquarium. So this is one of the tanks that's going to be needing a good wipe down today. Now, you guys remember I set this little, focus. You guys remember I set this tank up, I guess, a week or so ago. I had a bunch of plants in the background, but all the plants melted on me. I think it was just too many nutrients. The camera did not want to focus on this tank. I think it was too many nutrients in the water, and it just melted the crap out of the plants. But I have since bought these platies. So I got these platies from my local fish store. I think they're pretty awesome. I love the color, the red and the black. This is a beautiful little platy. I just had to pick them up. So I got them in here pretty much getting this tank cycle because it's kind of a new startup. And I thought about maybe moving them over to this tank to add a little pop of red into this aquarium. So you guys can let me know what you think about that. You think I should move those over here and add a little red to this tank? I think it'll look amazing. What's down here? Oh, we still got our little 10-gallon tank. I need a little nice top off. This tank barely gets a water change, probably once a month. And you can see how clear the water is, how good the plants are growing, how great the fish look. That is because I set this ecosystem up properly. And when you set a proper ecosystem up, you do not have to worry about pretty much your tank crashing or having to do so many water changes. You got to let the plants do the work. You can see, the plants back out here are just growing like crazy, and it's looking phenomenal. So maybe I'll make a video one day showing you guys all that. Now this tank, I don't think I even showed these fish, but we got a nice flower horn in here that my homie Mr. Feed the Fish brought over here maybe like 2 months ago, and he was just in the worst condition. He was getting beat up, so I got him halfway back to health. He done lost his nuchal hump, but hopefully we can try to get him healthy. Here we got a little bluegill. I had this bluegill outside of my pond all summer. He survived, and so I'm raising him up, and I'm letting him just live out his life. And then there's a little Jack Dempsey in here that I can't put down in that tank because they kind of beat him up all the time. So he's down there right now. Oh, what's up with this tank? This tank looking good. Let me get some better light on this tank. So this is a catch-all tank pretty much right now with the convicts and the rainbows. And then we even got another pair of my turcanas in here. And then we got the giant Daniels in here. So it's been a pretty cool tank to watch. These rainbows have laid eggs a few times. The turcanas are nice and red, so I'm thinking they might want to breed eventually. But for right now, I'm just letting these fish swim in here and just live out their lives and be happy. So that's what they are. Then we got this little fat little polar blue parrot. I'm not sure if that's a male or female. I would think it's maybe a female. But yeah, just a cool little tank just to look at, something different. Down here, we still got Shorty Mac. Look at Shorty Mac looking good. Looking great. He just overeats. I have to really watch how I feed him because he just kind of overeats and be throwing up. And we still got our Giardini down here. Hasn't really got too much bigger, but he's definitely getting a little bit bigger for right now. Just got these guys down here. Like I said, things happened with the 120, so I had to move the Africans over. I had a whole plan that I kind of got to start over now. So that's what's going on in there. Let's see what other tank we didn't show yet. Oh, we got our other pair of turcanas down here. Looking good. They probably hide. They've been hiding a lot since I put them in this aquarium, so I don't think this is going to work out for them. Same with these guys down here, my breeding pair of Cabensis. They've been doing a lot of hiding as well, so don't think these tanks that kind of sit on the bottom racks are really good for good breeding. I really haven't had much good breeding out of the tanks that sit low unless I'm breeding some live bears or something like that. Oh yeah, you guys, when we picked up this green terror maybe about a week or so ago. Still in quarantine, doing good, eating, starting to get some color, and eventually he's going to go. It depending on his temperament, he's too small to go in here with these guys, so he's probably going to go over here with these guys. Depending on his temperament, if he's like super aggressive, which I know green terrors can be, he will not be in here. He'll have to just live by himself until he get a little bit bigger to go with these guys. But we'll see how that plays out. Look at this African tank though, y'all. Looking good. Looking phenomenal. And then we still got our geos over here that are kicking up all my plants. I just let the plants float now because they just be bothering me, making all my plants come up. So yeah, all the geos are looking amazing. As you can see, everybody is hungry. Maybe I'll do a feeding video. If you guys want a feeding video, maybe I'll do one of those in the near future. But that's a little gist of everything that's going down in the fish room. I'm not going to show the pond or nothing. Maybe we'll do that in a separate video. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Just wanted to give you guys a little update on some things that's going on. Talk about the African cichlid tank. Let you know what happened with this tragedy right here. So that's going to be pretty much it. If you're new around here, it's your first time being here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel and turn on your post notifications so you can be notified when I drop these videos. I'm out of here.